say that the same thing about many different other religions like Muhammad, since he made such a radical change in his life and the Buddha, to go from the Buddha to go from having such a rich and lavish life to pretty much giving up everything?
Well, he may have thought it was true, but what evidence did he have that his philosophy was true? That's a different question, right? If you look at Islam, as you know, Muhammad died in 632. He never claimed to do miracles. The miracles attributed to Muhammad were attributed to him by the Hadith, the written traditions of what Muhammad said and did 150 years after he already died. Muhammad was really more of a political and military leader.
All right, so I just want to make some comments here. First, he says that, I'm guessing he's talking about the Quran, denying that the Prophet Muhammad did miracles. That's false. The Quran is denying specific miracles to specific people, but nowhere in the Quran does it say Prophet Muhammad can never do miracles. That's the first thing. The second thing is he says the Hadith came 250 years later. I'm guessing he's talking about Bukhari. That's actually false. Bukhari came 200 years later. But anyways, the whole point is the Hadith did not originate 200 or 150 years later, as Frank Turek claims, because he's ignorant about Hadith preservation and studies. If you read the book Introduction to Hadith Studies by Mustafa Al-Azami and Studies in Hadith Methodology by the same author, he accounts that he relates or he shows and proves that the Hadith were written by the disciples of the Prophet Muhammad and were passed on from generation to generation until the second century, or until the time of Bukhari. So these Hadith booklets were distributed over the next like 2 centuries of Islam, and Sahih Bukhari absorbed all those books. So the Hadith did not originate 150 years later. That's false. But Frank Turek is just ignorant about what the Quran really says and the preservation of the Hadith. He also says, well, the Prophet Muhammad was a military leader and political leader. Yes, same with Moses. Moses was also a political leader and a military leader to the Israelites. Same with David. David was also a military leader and a political leader to the Israelites. So, the Prophet Muhammad's the same as Moses and David. And of course, Moses and David are seen as prophets according to the Old Testament and the New Testament, etc., or according to the Bible. So I don't know what Frank Turek is. I think Frank Turek is trying to say, well, there's no reason to believe in Muhammad. There's no reason to believe in Islam. That's false. We have prophecies of the Quran, prophecies of the Prophet Muhammad, miracles of the Prophet Muhammad. Those are all good enough proof to believe in the prophethood of Muhammad. So Frank Turek is wrong on these accounts. Stay tuned, more videos going up ahead.